Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So those of you who have been watching my video throughout this year know that this year I've been trying to control my caffeine habit. Now, caffeine's an interesting one because I do want to use it, but I want to use it in moderation. There are a lot of benefits to dark baking chocolate, and I did stop using it for 4 months because I thought that would flush it out of my system. I went back and I was able to use it in moderation for some time. I went a little bit crazy uh, a few weeks ago because I got myself busy with other things and I was pulling a lot of all nighters. And then this past week, I really clamped down on it again because I have some schedule issues. I'm back to working early morning and I don't want to have difficulty sleeping. So this past week, I was able to use it with a much better control. Now the problem is that is what I replaced the caffeine with. I have two other addictions I also talk extensively about on this channel: eating and masturbating. And unfortunately, over the last 5 years, I have constantly juggled these three addictions over and over and over again. In 2020, when we first went into quarantine, I thought I was using it as an opportunity to correct some binge eating problems. The truth is that I replaced it with caffeine and with masturbating. The only reason I got away with it was because we were in quarantine, right? You can drink all the caffeine you want. You can sleep all the awkward hours you want. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care you're masturbating when you're in quarantine. It's not going to interfere with your social life. You're not going to have to hide out to do it. The truth is that the fact that the COVID was kind of putting a cover on all of these bad habits that I had. It was allowing me to get away with it. And so then we reopened, and I quickly realized how big a drag the masturbating was. In 2022, I quit masturbating for, I think, 66 days altogether in the end of that. I've since cut back a lot as well. Now the problem is not so much the fact that I was masturbating. The problem was that I was getting an urge to do it at all the wrong times, right? That's why I didn't notice how bad an addiction I had during the quarantine, right? And so in 2022, I quit masturbating, and again, I replaced it with caffeine. And so at my height, I was drinking when I did the math about 2 times the amount of caffeine it would take to kill an average person my size. I developed a huge tolerance to it, and I think the lethal dose is 3 grams. I was at my height. I was drinking 6 grams of caffeine a day, chocolate, coffee, and tea altogether. And then earlier this year, I wanted to make some anodized tantalum art, and I wanted to have steady hands to do it. The other thing is that for a time I was living out of my car, and so during the daytime it got really hot. You can't sleep during the daytime in your car, and so I needed a very regulated sleep schedule as well. So around that time I quit using the caffeine to address both of those issues. And then I quickly replaced it with masturbating, and my eating habits are a little bit subpar. I mean, still a lot better than before I addressed it, but it could be a lot better. Let's put it that way. And so as you can see, I can't seem to get a handle of all three of these. As soon as I try to fix one problem, another comes in its place. It's like I call it my it's like a triplet addiction, right? The only time I have addressed all three of them is every year of during Yom Kippur. I have a few friends who are Jewish, and I do Yom Kippur with them. And obviously, you can't do any of this during Yom Kippur, but that's only for 24 hours. I've never addressed it for even more than 24 hours, right? That's unfortunate. Last year during Yom Kippur, I felt so good. at the end of it, I thought I decided that I would just keep doing it until I fade away and go to heaven. Fortunately, I guess I had a student in a class I was teaching, a calculus class I was teaching that I really loved, and I didn't want to cause disruptions for him, and so I ended the fast. But I took it a little bit beyond the 24 hours, if I remember correctly. I think I did 28, 29 of that dry fast. Oh, right. Unfortunately, juggle, juggle, juggle. Right now that I have an early morning class and I need to keep good schedule, my caffeine's under control, but my masturbating is still out of control. Right? I'm still doing it 3 times a day. The only thing that I like about my masturbating habit today compared to a few years ago is that I have a better control of when I'm doing it. I just don't have a control of how much, right? All right, so please continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.